Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin and I am the Dream Decipherer. And I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. This evening's two dreams feature classes and getting permission um, from the wife. We'll find out what's going on with that. But in the first dream, the dreamer reports that it was training at a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class with a friend, and another friend who also happened to be a former teacher of the dreamers was also in the class. After several classes had been attended, the dreamer reports he was going along one evening to the class and asked his former teacher if he was going as well. And the teacher said, "Not tonight." And that's the end of the first dream. In the second dream, it's even shorter, but don't be fooled. Little dreams can have lots of information. But in the second dream, the dreamer reports that he was doing something with his son, but were only allowed to do it if they used his wife's name. And that's the end of the dream. So what's the connection between these two very different dreams? One is to a class, a martial arts class. And the other one is about doing some unnamed activity that uses the wife's name as the kind of key to get in. So in the first dream, the dreamer is going along to this jiu-jitsu class with a friend and a former teacher as well. And my first question here is that being that this other teacher, this former teacher, was also a martial arts teacher, was he no longer attending that teacher's classes? Or did something happen? Why was he in a different class than, or in the same class as his former teacher? And it's interesting when asking his former teacher about whether he was going to the class one day or one evening, the teacher said, "No, not tonight." And funnily enough, the image that popped up in my head after reading this was this cliche of, this about, the husband is nudging the wife and, it's late at night and he's giving her a nudge and she's like, "Not tonight." And I wonder if there's something or someone that has been delayed or postponed or put off, and you've been told not tonight or not now. It may be a bit out there, but I just wonder because it was quite funny how the image popped up in my head. But it's a perfect segue to the second dream, actually, because the dreamer is doing some kind of unnamed activity with his son, but they can only do it with using the wife's name. So what was that about? What was the activity? First of all, my first question there is, what was the activity actually supposed to be? And why was the wife's name important in being able to carry out this activity? What was the connection there? That followed on to another question as to where perhaps in waking life that the dreamer may feel he needs his wife or someone else's permission in order to act. And I have a question about the son, and I always have to remind people that the people who appear in our dreams are not necessarily themselves. They may be, but not necessarily, because the dream is from us and is about us, and it peoples the dream with familiar figures and faces and places to evoke some kind of feeling or memory or something. So I would ask who the wife could represent, or what qualities does the wife represent, and what does the little boy, the son, represent, other than the son? What qualities or thoughts or feelings are evoked by these two people? There's another question that I would ask, is that if it's possible that the boy, the son, is actually the dreamer's shadow. The shadow is the part of us that's unknown or underdeveloped, or unacknowledged in some way. And I wonder if this represents, in some sense, some aspect of the dreamer himself in that little boy. So to look at that little boy, look at that son, and see what about him resonates with the dreamer. The other thing is that with the wife, I ask here if that is the anima, the dreamer's anima, or the inner female, which is about connectedness and relationship. And if so, where in the dreamer's life may there be a disconnect of some kind, or a break or breach, or troublesome relationship somewhere? And I have to come back to this activity. I would really love to know what activity was required the wife's permission or her name. And I wonder, being that this second dream had family, ostensibly family members in it, if there's an area of the dreamer's waking life that requires family input or permission in some form. What's interesting about this is that the wife's name is acts as a key somehow to unlock this activity, whatever it may be. I wonder if there's a couple of things that could be questioned here. Is the wife's name, is there some significance attached to the name itself? Or does the name of the wife's name evoke a particular thought or action or intention? What is it about the wife's name that is this magical key to unlock this activity, whatever it is? So finally, I should have a look and try to figure out what the possible links are between these two dreams. And the first thing I had already flagged is that the comment, even though it was made by the dreamer's former teacher, saying "not tonight," it really kind of dovetails with getting the wife's permission. And maybe she's the one saying "not tonight." So I asked is it about a relationship, literally the relationship between the dreamer and the dreamer's spouse, or some other matters that actually have nothing to do with the household life and is in the outside life, in the outer life, in the world, whether there are barriers or certain names or certain things that need to have the cachet of a special name or key to be able to access. There is, I just wonder, again, I come back to the question is if there's an area in the waking life of the dreamer where there is agreement that's expected and not gotten, or there's agreement that is questioned in some way or questionable in some way. So there's the question of expectation here in both instances, one perhaps more neutral than the other. And I would ask the dreamer or to consider that if the broader question of having permission, whether it be permission to go out now because lockdown is easing, or is it permission to behave in certain ways or to do certain things, and to that the family somehow would be implicated in it. And so I would put that to the dreamer to consider. So there you have it. You you have people saying, "Not tonight, dear," and as well as needing people's permission to get things done. And if you have a dream that's really got you scratching your head or keeping you up at nights, which can happen, repetitive dreams or nightmares, and would like some tips on how to approach them and get the information that they contain out of them, contact me. Drop me a line, leave me a message, and I will be happy to give you some free tips to help you to crack the code of your sleep or dreams. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a fantastic evening and rest of the week, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.